Wow, everyone loves anarchism, said Ron cluelessly. Let's all be anarchists now. Don't be fooled, comrades, I pleaded gloriously in a working man's voice. Romilda is being embraced by the reactionary enemies of the people. Why would Dumbledore allow her to say what she wants while taking away our freedom of fucking speech if they were the true proletarian revolutionaries? Because smart people know the non-corrupt capitalist system can be changed through internal reform, said Hermione elitistly, sounding just like a typical liberal coward. You fucking liberal coward, I yelled truthfully. You're so typical.
Now, let's all share our different views together in an open marketplace of ideas,
lied Dumbledore in an imperialist voice.
Romilda Vane's anarchists will represent the crazy leftist views that no one will ever act on anyone. To show how open-minded we are, we'll even let fascists say what they want.
That's not open-minded, I yelled in a communist voice. We should smash the fascists.
Silly commie, said Dumbledore, chuckling in a Burgeroyce way. Don't you know Voltaire said that I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
If you believe that, I said in a working voice, why won't you allow us communists to have freedom of speech?
Well, some ideas have to be suppressed for a while if they're too dangerous,
Professor Pepsi said corporatively.
Communists will be given all the freedom of speech they want once they can't pose a threat to capitalism anymore. Besides, communists still have freedom of speech,
lied Dumbledore in a libertarian voice.
They can say what they want everywhere in this castle, except in the classrooms. Of course, anarchists and fascists will be allowed to say whatever they want in the classrooms.
I was so disgusted with Dumbledore's fucking imperialist lies that I turned back to my socialist comrades. You must now see that we are the real proletarian revolution, I told them. Romilda Vane says that she's on the side of the people, but she's a tool of bourgeois imperialists, just like the Vietnamese reactionaries who stole Cambodia's independence in 1979. Yes, we can see that, said Ginny, who was hot, although I didn't care about that, in a grim voice. The question is what to do about it. I know, I said, as I got a proletariat idea for the working class of socialism. Everyone who is with us will meet in the room of requirement at midnight tonight. Of course, no fucking stupid anarchists will be allowed. So at midnight, I went to the room of requirement place and walked into a big room with mirrors everywhere and everything. And lots of students were there, including many hot girls with humongous boobs. Ordinary teenage boys wouldn't be able to concentrate with such attractive girls supporting them, but I was foremost a communist and saw them chiefly as fellow proletarians in a comradely way. The magic had decorated the room with decorations in a communist way. There were a bunch of old Soviet truth posters, which weren't propaganda posters, because propaganda is always lies. All around were also inspiring posters of Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin, Mao Zedong, Bashar al-Assad, and other leftist heroes. There were also several Che Guevara t-shirts hung up on the walls. Welcome, comrades, I told them in a revolutionary voice. Today, we shall found a progressive organization for socialist advancement of the working proletariat class against the fucking bourgeois, imperialist bastards of the capitalist bourgeois. Everyone cheered with working voices. I don't see why you don't let Romilda and the anarchists come, said Hannah Abbott innocently. We may not agree with them on everything, but shouldn't everyone opposed to the capitalist class work together? Even though Hannah was incredibly sexy and cute, I wasn't distracted by her adorable body and awesomely girlish pigtails because of my political sophistication, and my righteous anger boiled over, even though she hadn't meant any harm. Don't you understand what's happening here? I yelled in an angry voice. The anarchists are legitimate puppets created by Dumbledore to take over the true revolution. We will not associate with them because we are the true revolution. We shall call ourselves the Warsaw Pact. The next day, we all went to Transformation, which was racistly taught by racist Professor McGonagall.
Since it's the first class of the year, we're going to take a day off and watch a movie, she said in an elitist bourgeois voice. We will be seeing the Oscar-nominated Bollywood classic Lagan once upon a time in India.
How dare you engage in cultural appropriation, you fucking white supremacist! I yelled gloriously.
Mr. Potter, I am not racist and we're just watching a movie, said Professor McGonagall in a racist voice.
It's just a movie to ignorant white racists like you, I yelled in a revolutionary voice. I suppose it doesn't occur to you that your British ancestors committed fucking genocide against India. Maybe you should think of that before you start stealing their culture.
You communists are the racist ones,
said McGonagall, demonstrating how she was blinded by her white privilege.
Cultural appropriation isn't real. Race is a social construct, and all people are one.
You can't fool me with your racist lies, Professor McHitler, I yelled in righteous proletariat anger. Native peoples all around the world fucking suffered under racist white imperialism, and you think that makes it okay to fucking steal their cultures?
But I'm doing this to honor them.
As she racistly took out the DVD she was racistly stealing from India's rich cultural history. I will not take part in your fucking racist imperialism, I yelled as I stood up to stand. Everyone who cares about the fucking people of India, follow me. I turned and defiantly walked out of the racist classroom, with every member of the Warsaw Pact following behind me. We all went to the office of Dumbledore. I knew the password, but I was betting that Dumbledore was counting on me being unable to say it. To be sure, it was difficult to form those vile words in my mouth, but I screwed up my face and did it. Adam Smith was right, I said, injecting the repugnant bourgeois sentence with as much sarcasm as possible. The gargoyle capitalistically jumped aside, and we all went onto the imperialist escalator. Once we then reached the top, I walked into the office followed by my followers, which included many hot girls because of my inspiring politics and not because I was a total stud, which I was, although I obviously didn't care about something as capitalistic as that. Inside the room, Professor Pepsi was corporatively sitting at the desk, and Dumbledore was licking his shoes with his bourgeois tongue.
Oh, hello,
said Dumbledore as he got off the floor.
I was just helping Hal clean his shoes. Don't worry, I'm still the boss, and not at all controlled by him, the way that big capitalists always control the supposed leaders.
Professor Dumbledore, we need to talk to you, I explained epically. Could you make Professor Pepsi go away?
Anything you say in front of me, you can say in front of Hal,
said that libertarian fuck, Albus Dumbledore, laughing in an imperialist way.
Of course, we could both leave, but that wouldn't help you very much, would it?
Professor, you have to do something about McGonagall, I said comradely. She's teaching fucking racism.
I think we should do nothing,
said Professor Pepsi in an evil voice.
Not because racism is necessary to maintain the false consciousness of the proletariat, but because I don't believe it's true.
Even if it were true, Professor McGonagall is welcome to her wonderful freedom of speech,
laughed Dumbledore in our faces. You lying bastard, I yelled in a working-class way. Racism takes freedom of speech away from the proletarian minorities.
Now, why should their freedom of speeches matter more than Minerva's, just because she can exploit them?
Asked Dumbledore in a lying voice.
I love the way you libertarians think,
laughed Professor Pepsi in a fucking voice. We all turned to walk out of the room. I don't know why I was even bothered to go to that corporate sellout Dumbledore for help. I guess I'd hoped that he would have at least enough integrity to be opposed to racism, but I guess I was wrong. Now, we would have to try and find some other way to get that racist lie Professor McGonagall fired. What are we going to do about that fucking racist Professor McGonagall? Asked the incredibly exotic Pavarotti as sexy tears poured down her face. What she did was really offensive to my fucking Indian heritage. It's the true face of capitalism, I explained gravely. British colonization of India never really ended. Now they imperialistically exploit the Indian proletariat by giving them our fucking jobs. It's slavery. You've got that right, Pavarotti sobbed in a gorgeous, exploited way. I stepped forward and gave her a big manly kiss on the lips. Ginny didn't feel jealous at all because she understood I was doing it to bring comradely joy to a fellow proletarian and not because I was attracted to Pavarotti or anything. Wow, that really helped me, Comrade Harry, said Pavarotti sexily after we parted. But what can we do if Dumbledore won't help us? We're going to do a fucking protest, I decided, and then we all went to the room of requirement to start making the signs and fucking shit. At dinner, we all walked into the Great Hall holding our communist signs. They read awesome things like smash racism and fire all racist teachers and end American imperialism now. We all chanted, McGonagall is a racist troll. Let's stick a staff up her hole.
That is vulgar and unacceptable,
Gasped McGonagall in a racist voice.
10 points from Gryffindor.
You can't control us with your bourgeois points, you racist fuckhead, I yelled glamorously. The schoolhouse system is just a fucking imperialist way of dividing the proletariat against itself to create false consciousness.
Mr. Potter, I don't even understand why you think I'm a racist,
said McGonagall in an evil voice. That just goes to show how racist you are, you fucking racist, I yelled gloriously in a socialist voice. You can't even tell how racist you're being.
Fire her,
sobbed Pavarotti in an exotic way.
I can't even look at her. It's too triggering.
Look at Pavarotti, you fucking racist, I screamed angrily at fucking racist McGonagall. Just by being here, you're making her relive the racist trauma you inflicted on her in your bourgeois classroom. And now you're saying you don't even know you were fucking racist?
I'm sorry, but McGonagall didn't actually do anything racist, said Hermione in an elitist liberal voice. Just because Pavarotti was a little offended doesn't make it racist.
It's not for the white, petite, bourgeois class like you to decide what's fucking racist, I screeched at fucking Hermione.
I'm not a social class, I'm a person,
Hermione nagged liberally. There are no individuals, you fucking individualist, yelled Neville. All people are controlled by their fucking social class. Read Marx and educate yourself. I think nothing should be done, said that fucking stupid anarchist puppet Romilda Vane. She'd put her hair in Princess Leia braids, making her look like that genocidal fascist maniac, Yulia Tymoshenko. After all, we in the heirs of Bakunin are opposed to all government, so why should we want the government to ever do anything?
That's an excellent point,
said Dumbledore.
I'm going to do just that, which shows how I'm open-minded enough to occasionally accept ideas from the far left.
I gapesped. That's a combination of gaping and gasping.